So in this session, I want to address some of the benefits of mindfulness, which is a lovely practice to engage in where you simply relax and observe your emotions and then accept them. It's very simple to perform, and it yields great results very quickly. And let me use a simple, somewhat funny, and pretty ordinary example to illustrate my points. There was a time when I used to get really annoyed when people would park in front of my garage door. I live in a small city, and I have a garage, and there's limited parking. So occasionally, about 5 or 6 times a year, people would block my garage. And I'm laughing as I discuss this because I used to get really excited about it, and that has diminished over time. Partly due to maturity, I hope, and partly due to meditation and reflection. But let me go back to when it really used to get me worked up. I would be angry, mildly enraged, annoyed, etc. Pretty typical, for better or worse, and I hope you can empathize with something similar in your life. Now, with the practice of mindfulness, I would, first of all, simply relax. Take 3 or 4 deep breaths, and the benefit of relaxation is not to be underestimated. Just taking several deep breaths and reflecting on what's going on is a big benefit in its own right. Second, the act of observing my emotions about an external stimulus does something very important, and that is it reduces the proximity of the emotions in my personal experience. When you have particularly hot emotions, they can feel, like a space amoeba from a science fiction movie that has attached itself to your face. You really can't think of anything else besides your anger or your upset. So the process of mindfulness reduces that proximity, and it essentially grants you some objective space where you can hopefully clearly see the stimulus, in this case, the car being parked in front of my garage, and my automatic response, which is anger and annoyance, and just see them both as separate incidents. There's a stimulus and a response, and by observing it, I can, again, hopefully, decide whether I want to continue with that response. So mindfulness helps you place your reactions, your emotions, your thoughts, at arm's length. And this enables you, leading us to the next benefit, to have more flexibility in your response, in the way you interact with both the stimulus and yourself. This flexibility may help you answer the real question being asked of you by the stimulus. In this case, the car being parked in front of my garage. Now, because I'm breathing and observing and accepting my emotions for what they are, I have this flexibility, and also my mind opens up to think of alternatives instead of being consumed by an emotion, which we understand is ephemeral. Now, again, in this case, I live in a small city where many things are within walking distance. And if I practice mindfulness in response to someone blocking my garage, I may be able to remember that I have a deposit to make at the bank, which is also within walking distance. And so the skill of mindfulness has granted me relaxation and the ability to respond more effectively. And for me, this is really one of the greatest benefits, because what I want is not so much to do away with emotions or outside stimuli. That is almost impossible to achieve. But what I want is more flexibility. I want more resources available to me, or as I have said previously, I want more of the resources I already have available to me. And you can accomplish this by relaxing, observing your emotions, accepting them, and committing to moving forward. Now, as I continue to observe myself and my emotions, feeling the anger certainly diminish, while I may still be feeling somewhat annoyed, I may be able to recall that I have seen several tourists who come to our town actually park in front of driveways without realizing what they were doing. I've seen this on their faces when they return to their cars and for the first time see that they are actually in front of a garage. You can't fake this kind of sort of apologetic look that I've seen on people's faces, because if you're not from this town or you're not from any place you visit, sometimes you're not able to take in all of the details of what's going on around you. In this city, our houses are very close together, they're very narrow, and I can understand that things can blend together, especially for someone who is just visiting. Now, of course, I want to point out that in this case, mindfulness does not magically levitate the car away from my garage. It is still there. But what mindfulness can do is assist me in both accepting my emotions and myself and coming up with solutions. Because if you think about it, think about any self-help or personal development or meditation or hypnosis program, what you want are better solutions to the questions posed by your life experience. You may want to be more confident or have higher self-esteem or stop procrastinating. And anything you do within the realm of this area of thought is to help you get better solutions. And that is why I like mindfulness so much, because it's something you can do both in the moment and on your feet. Again, you can't change a lot of stimulus that comes your way, but you can learn to observe your emotions, accept them, and move forward, which is easily accomplished with mindfulness, because once you've practiced it a few times and become familiar with the process, it's something you can do really in a split second, or at the very most 3 or 4 seconds. And you can always be observing and accepting your emotions and coming up with better solutions. So we don't think that mindfulness is a panacea or a miracle cure for anything, but we do know that you can use it to simply relax, to become comfortable experiencing your emotions, and to lead a more effective life because you are relaxed and capable of accessing more of the resources you already have. So this message has been very short, and I hope that it encourages you to continue practicing the skill of mindfulness, because once you get the hang of it, it's really quite fun and effective and something that rewards repetition. You get better at it every time you use it, and you will find that your experience of life expands in relation to how much you practice relaxing, observing your emotions, accepting them, and finding the flexibility to move forward.